Hey y'all, Left Behind, chapter 16. Let's get into it. So right now we're with Cameron Williams, and he is trying to be incognito. He is using his boss's identity to try to go see Carpathia because Sham Rosenwig wants to see him, and then Carpathia wants to see him too. And so he's trying to go get into the building as Steve Plank. And so Steve winds up getting arrested, but Buck sneaks in and was able to get upstairs, but he runs into another colleague who recognizes him and is trying to get into with Carpathia too. And so when they're trying to get to Carpathia, they're like wrestling, they're running and they're wrestling, trying to get to past the guards and trying to get to Carpathia because they really want to talk to him. And then what's so funny is that Carpathia ends up in the hallway, and he ends up in the hallway and everybody's stopping, the guards are just frustrated at this point, and they all just stopped and look at him. And then Carpathia was like, "Oh, hi, Cameron." And then his colleague was looking like, "How do you know you by name?" So Buck, he's that guy, right? And so we're dealing with that. He's just that guy. And so Cam gets in talking to Carpathia, and Carpathia calls him Buck, and Cameron's like, how does he know me by that name? I don't think even the Dr. Sham knows me by that name. So excuse me if I'm saying his name wrong. That's just how I've always pronounced it for years. So it might be wrong, but it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. But anyway, as I'm going back to the story, Buck says that only his colleagues at his offices know who he is by that name, and his personal friends. And how does Carpathia know? Dude is sus. And so he goes and talks to Carpathia. He tells him what the rundown is and what was going on with London with some of Carpathia's colleagues. And Carpathia's like, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what you want me to do about that. And then it's like, well, something's not right here. Can we figure it out? And so anyway, we go over to what's his name? The pilot, Ray. And Ray is so worried about Chloe not accepting Christ. And he's so worried about Hattie not accepting Christ. And then his mentor is like, calm down. Chill. You gotta chill. And people are gonna come. You gotta let God do the work. You can't force it down their throat. I know you're it's all urgent to you now, because it is, but you are being the most. And so Ray, this chapter ends with Ray praying and crying out to God about his daughter. And just think of how many parents are out here crying out to God about their children, their prodigals or whatever's going on, or even if they're young and they're just misguided, or they're just not taking in the fullness of Christ, or even believing, because a lot of parents out here aren't really living the walk of Christ. They're more kinder and loving and forgiving with other people more than their own children. And it's a lot of people like that. And so a lot of kids fall away from Christ. And it's you got to understand it from their perspective when it comes to these things. And yes, everybody needs their own relationship with the Lord, but you just got to see that a lot of the generations with millennials and the Gen Z, and now the crucial generation, Gen Alpha, they are watching us and they're watching their grandparents. And if they're not lining up with what they're seeing that they're learning with church, and if they're not learning in the word, and then if the things are just different than what they're being shown all over the world, then it's really hard for them to come to Christ. But that's why we have to keep praying. We have to do better. We have to walk in integrity. And which is why God said that you could call on my name all you want to. You can say, Lord, Lord, I did this, I did that. but he's going to be like, I never knew you. And how do you know him? Because you say one thing, then you walk in a totally different direction as soon as you out of the presence of people you think are important in church. So that's why it's important to live a righteous life and to get in your word and to talk to Jesus and let him come into your heart, because it is things like this where Ray realized all the mistakes he made and how harsh he was with his own wife about Jesus, and now she's off with the Lord and he's stuck here with his daughter, which is a heart-wrenching thing, because he felt like that she followed after me when she should have been following after her mom, and following after her mom and following after Jesus. And so now that's what he's dealing with, and a lot of people can feel that. So until next time, I hope you enjoy your reading. I talk to you next time. Bye.